Hello, it's Kassy, and I cannot wait to dig into this week's journal page. I've got some amazing products from Sizzix Studio and Royal Talens Amsterdam acrylic paint line, and we're going to use modeling paste today, so I'm very excited. If you haven't used this before, I really think you're going to be hooked and need to go buy some immediately. It is so fun. It's a great easy way to add some texture and a little dimension on your page, and so let's just get right to it, okay, because I can't wait to start. So I've picked out a couple of stamps and stencils from the Sizzix Studio lines. So we will go through those, and then I've got my journal and my registration tool, all the goodies. So let me just make some space here. I picked out some paints. The only thing I did to prep really was to pick out a couple of stamp stencils and paint colors that sort of felt inspiring to me. As I've said before, I generally like to just kind of go with the flow and see where the page takes us, and not try to pre-plan it too much, because I don't know, there's just a little bit of magic that happens when you just sort of let go a little bit, and that's what I really want to try to help you develop. Okay, I don't need this stamp platform piece right away. I will be using it later, but we don't need it right away. So I'm taking it off, and then I'm going to lift the protective sheet off of the sticky grid here so we can actually stick down our journal so it stays in place. I just love this. So this is our last page. Let's see, I'm gonna find another new page. So you notice I don't this is my last one. I don't necessarily go to the next page. You definitely can. You can just pick a random page. It doesn't matter. I just like to pick a random page and go with it. So that's what we're gonna do. And this page is stuck down now in my book. So let's go. So I thought that it would be fun to work with warm colors this time. And so I have some, most of the colors from the smaller tubes. I did want a lighter pink, possibly. I don't know what I'm actually going to end up using or not using. So these are just things that are on my table here, but I did have a larger tube of the quinacridone rose light. So that's off to the side there. I might use that. I don't know, again, where it's going to go. We are just going to create on one page today. On previous ones, we've done double layouts, we've done single layouts in some of my other art journaling videos. So I just want to show you, kind of the differences between them. And sometimes you have just this much time, and that's great, and that's okay. So we're just going to get right into it. Okay, so I'm going to be working with, let's see. I'm working with warm colors. Okay, let's see. I want to start by just putting some color down. I really like to just get something on the page so that we're not staring at a blank page and freaking out and freezing, right? So again, all I know is that I'm using warm colors predominantly. I do have some cool colors here that I'm going to accent with a little bit. That's kind of my thing. I really like to have some of that play with play between the colors, and we're using modeling paste and some stamps and stencils, and that's really all I know. And so we're just gonna go. Okay, so let's see, I'll try to tell you colors as we go. This is primary magenta. I think I want to scooch in a little tiny bit of this darker color. This is permanent red violet. I'll just leave the caps off for now. We're going to use them a bunch. And then I have some vermilion. This is just a really lovely bright orange, and I want to have a little bit of that in there too. And let's just start with brayering. How about, let's see what happens. Oh my goodness, look at these colors. Ooh, baby. Okay, I'm so excited. All right, I don't want to overwork it, but I'm really loving this. I love how we have little blobs of colors that sort of squished out. I have some extra paint left over here, so I'm just gonna clean it off on my other page. I'm not necessarily gonna create on this page today, but again, I don't like wasting paints or mediums or anything. Really, I try to use as much as I can, and it has already broken this blank page for me. So when I go to create on on here, I've got something to start with, even if it's just a tiny bit of color there. Okay, so that it just does really help. And you don't waste anything. I love that there's a little bit of that darker purpley pink color. So this is a really great start. And also because we're working, you know, we've brayered it on so it's nice and thin, it's going to dry faster too. But while it's still wet, you could take like a skewer. This is like a bamboo skewer, or pencil or colored pencil, or like you could use the end of your palette knife if you wanted. And, you know, I'm just gonna, you could like make circles, or you could just draw. This is already really starting to dry. So if you want to make some marks on your page or some squiggles or do like a semi-grading or something like that, you kind of need to do it right away. But I've got a couple little scratches in here and that looks pretty cool. So if you want more dramatic look, you do need to do it right away, because see, it's a little bit tacky, but it's really already starting to dry, and I haven't even put the heat gun on it at all. Okay, so I do know, let's see, let's look at our things here while this is sort of finishing drying. So I know I want to have some birds. Aren't these the sweetest birds you ever saw? I just love them so much. This is from the Cat Cur set. I forgot to look up how to say this word, but it's spelled I-K-I-G-A-I. It's beautiful. It's just, I just forgot to learn how to read it. Wouldn't this be cool as a full background? That's so good. Okay, I think I want to do something a little different today. I do have an idea for this. I will say that when I saw this, I was like, ooh, I'm going to try a particular technique. So we will, well, maybe I'll do that next. Let's see. Okay. So I also have, sorry, I'm just sort of thinking as we go. I have this set. This is from The Visitor from Cat Cur. And I love this corner flower. It's so absolutely gorgeous. So I was thinking, if we just pull it out here, I was thinking it fits kind of perfectly. I mean, seriously, if you have this size journal, look at how great this is. You could even do it this way and have a nice, you know, corner bookend kind of thing, border. How beautiful is that? But I think I just want it in this lower corner because I want to do some other things too. And I have some plans. So I'm going to do that for sure. But let me just think about what else. So having that in mind, I'm going to have the corner flowers, and I really kind of want to use this, but I'm trying to decide how it's going to go. Okay, maybe just part of it. I kind of like that. I do have a plan for this. I don't know. Well, let's just, okay, so this is the moment when I start to overthink, right? And I think I've said it before here, but if I haven't, I'm saying it now, or again, whatever. When I start to like sit too long and think like, oh, this way, that way, oh, should I do it? Oh, whatever. Then I have to like just stop myself and then just go, because I can sit here for 10 minutes just trying to figure out how to place this leaf when really it doesn't matter. We're in our journal, we're having fun, it doesn't matter. So let's just go, okay? So I've got some green here. This is a nice contrasting color. This is Permanent Green Deep. So, and I've also got my Royal Talens palette paper here. You can see there's blue on here, but it's totally fine. It was blue acrylic ink from another project that I did. And it's dry and it's acrylic, so it's not going to affect anything else. So I'm just going to keep working on it because it's still good, you know? So I'm just going to put some green over here in the corner, and I really don't need a lot. And I don't know why I'm putting the lid on that, because I'm going to use more. And then I've got, yellowish green. Oh my goodness. I just can't even stand it. I love this green so much. It's so beautiful. Okay, so here's what I want to do. I'm going to use my, excuse me, I got a lot of things going on over here. I'm going to use my sponge ink applicator, but we're using it for paint. And let's see, maybe I want it to go up. Yeah, let's try it this way. So this is pretty cool. I kind of want it to go all the way to the top. So just having in mind, okay, I'm not trying to overthink, but just kind of planning a layout a little bit, right? Oh, and I have just a big old mess going on over here. because I just can't slow down enough to do stuff. Okay, so this is how this is going to go, right? So if you can sort of see, I'm going to have this leaf thing kind of like trail up, okay? So that's kind of my thought here, okay? And I'm going to do a fun, cool texture. Okay, so I'm going to start with the dark green and just get a little bit of this paint and kind of tap it off so I don't have too much, okay? And I'm just going to cover this whole leaf area right up the side. Oop, okay, right up the side. And I don't really mind if it gets on the other page. You know, I don't have plans for that page at the moment, and I'm sure whatever I do will be great later on, but oops, I don't want, let me get my little towel because I went over a little bit into the other leaf and I kind of don't want that there. So let me see if yeah, I was able to remove it. That's fine. So I just wasn't paying enough attention. Okay, so that is great coverage. That is beautiful. Let's just like peek. Ooh, look at that. Green against the warm colors is so gorgeous. Okay, so now what I want to do, and I should have used my placement thing so I could just let it sit here, but I was too excited and I went too fast. So what you're going to do when you do this is use your stencil placement thing, right? And line it all up the proper way. I even have it here, but I got so excited. I couldn't stand it and I didn't do it, but it's going to be fine. All right. So now what I want to do is take this other stamp that has all these words, okay? And this is from, I think this Create. Yeah, this is from the Create line from Cat Cur. This is another reason, like, you need all 8 sets because you can mix and match so much, and there's so many great stamps and stencils in each of the sets. I just like, I kind of go a little crazy. I have an acrylic block because this is going to be like sort of an impromptu, like, I don't need it to be perfect and just interesting thing that I'm going to try. So let's just see how this goes. Okay, so I'm leaving my stencil in place. All right, and then well, let's try it with this. I'm going to use the other side because I've got a light green here, and again, I don't want too much, but I'm going to stamp onto my, or I'm going to put this paint onto my stamp. And then I'm going to like press it through the stencil. And you kind of have to press hard because you're going through this stencil onto material here. Ooh, it's working. It's working. And I'm so excited. Okay, so let me get more green because I don't have enough. But this is a really fun way to get pattern through a pattern. Okay, and you'll see when it's done here. And you can do it with paint. You could do it with ink. You can do it like a million different ways. Remember, if you're putting acrylic paint on your stamp, you need to, sorry, just trying to make sure I don't go over here. You need to make sure and go rinse it under warm soapy water, or it doesn't have to be warm, just soapy water, and right away, okay, or soon after, so that you don't wreck your stamp. But you definitely can use your acrylic paint with your stamps. I don't want you to feel limited or like too scared or like you can't do it, because you totally can. Don't be scared. They're just stamps and paint, and you know, it's going to be okay. But we do also want to take care of our tools and make sure that they're going to last a long time. Okay, so we did it. Ooh, I'm excited. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's do it. Oh, okay. I have to bring this closer so you can see. I mean, oh, I forgot. I'm stuck. Okay. Check that out. Check it out. It's so cool. So now you have words only in your leaves and they're not going over at all. How cool is that? And it's super simple, and you just need to take a minute, and especially if you're doing it the right way and not the way I just did it, and using your stencil holder, placement holder. It's just beautiful. Okay. So I kind of want to do one more. Let's see. I want to see where this is going to go. Oh my gosh, I love that so much. Isn't it so beautiful? The dark green with the bright green, that contrast, that's really important to have a good contrast. If you're going to do something like that. Okay, let's see. Do I want one more? So I kind of want a different leaf, so I would use the other one. Do I want it to go up, or maybe I want it to go down? Or maybe not at all. I just kind of want to do it one more time. It's too beautiful. I think I need to flip this. It's the other beautiful thing. You can flip it. You don't have to have it the way, you know, the original way. It can just be however you want. Yeah, I do want one more, and I am going to go kind of over here, and we're just not going to overthink this. Okay, so I need to get more of the dark green. Okay, dark green, and we're going to do the same thing we just did. I'm just doing it in another spot, and I'm trying not to overthink it. Just go, go. And I'm going to go over the whole thing. It's okay that some of this is going to get stamped over later. You know, we're going to put our flower here. Stay. We're going to put our flower here, and that's totally okay. Okay, creating layers and doing stuff like that is actually creates complexity and great visual interest in your piece. So don't be afraid to like create and then put stuff on top of it and create more and layer it up. All right, that just creates more complex visual interest, which we all want. Okay, this isn't really dry. It's kind of thick, but I think we're just going to start and see what we get. Okay, so I'm doing the same thing. And one thing, if you're going to do text like this, I want you to keep it either horizontal or vertical, okay? Because if you start doing like this stuff, it just kind of makes it a little bit too busy, and you won't have the same effect, the right effect, okay? So just be aware of that, and just, you know, we're just making some conscious choices while we're also playing. Okay, so now I'm gonna have a little overlap because I'm trying really hard not to hit these leaves, but it's really okay. And ooh, I missed some of that. Okay, we're gonna go again. And I'm just inking up in the middle here. And I'm gonna try to kind of go where I was before. I just didn't press hard enough, it's all. It's my fault. Okay, that's better. I missed a little in there, but some of that is gonna be covered up anyway, so it's no big deal. Okay, I've got more green. And as soon as I'm done with this, I will hit this with some water and clean it up. It's no big deal. So here we go. Going again. Oh my goodness. I think I might have enough paint to go over there. Yes. Okay. I think that looks pretty darn good. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to move that. Uh-oh. My paint is starting to dry. Oh, ooh, I got a little something right there. I'm going to get my paper, or I think this is a baby wipe actually. Just putting a little water in it because it's kind of drying out a little bit. And I'm going to wipe this while I still can. Nice. Yeah, that's fine. Looks a little bit weathered. Love this. Isn't this fantastic? You could just do this technique and then maybe put like some words or something up here. Like your page is done. How cool is this? And it's so quick and simple. Okay, I'm going to see if I can get any more paint off of here before I clean it, because, ooh, look at how great that came out. Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay, I think it's pretty much dry. So now, just on camera here, I'm gonna do this, but normally I would take this to the sink and just rinse it under the sink. I probably will still anyway, but I wanna try and get as much of this off of here as I can right away. And I just wanna keep going with this page because it's way too fun and I can't even stand it. Okay, so we're gonna set that aside. So that's good. So great technique, love it. Turned out fabulous. And look at how nice my stencil looks now. It's very pretty. Okay, moving on. Okay, so now I want to make sure this is totally dry. So I'm gonna dry it real quick with my heat gun. If you don't have the Sizzix heat gun, this one is really great. I know there's a lot of heat guns out there, but I like this one because it's got a high and a low setting. So depending on if you're just drying a page or, you know, using it for like thermal embossing or something like that, it's really nice and it gets nice and hot. And so anyway, So I'm gonna dry this and then we'll move on. Okay, it was basically dry already. I just wanted to make sure it's really nice and dry. So now we are going to do the stamping. So I'm gonna bring the stamping platform, the lid part, back into use, and I've just put it into the hinge adapter, and of course I've got the raised hinge on there already. I just sort of keep it on there now because I want to use it all the time. So I've picked up my stamp and I'm going to take it off of the hinge for a minute because I just want to show you how I'm going to ink this up. So let's see, I'm going to take this sponge off of here, and I will also take this to the sink and wash it and keep using it. And in the meantime, I just hit it with a little bit of water and let that water kind of soak in while I'm over here working. And then I'll take this one off so I can do the same thing. And then when I'm done, it's still nice and wet, because if this dries on here, it can make it hard and crusty. So I just put a little water on and I let it sit while I'm working. And then when I'm done working, I take it over to the sink and rinse them out, and they're perfectly good, you know, fine and good to go. So I do have one extra little, spongy pad here. And I want to do this in black. So I'm going to use my Oxide Black ink, okay? I always like to give these a good shake because sometimes some stuff can settle a little bit. So I want to make sure it's really well mixed. I'm going to put it on my inking palette. Okay, so it's in a nice glass pot here, and it has a pipette inside, and it has the little plunger on top that you squeeze. So you squeeze the plunger while it's in, lift it out, and now you've got ink in your little pipette here. And then I'm just gonna put a little bit, probably a little bit more, onto my my surface here, and so then I'm going to pick it up. And the only difference with this, between this and the paint in the tubes, is that it's much thinner. Okay, so it's still acrylic paint. It's called acrylic ink because it's very thin. All right, and it works really great for stamping. So I'm just going over this a couple times to make sure it's completely covered. The reason I put it on the platform here is because I want to make sure I get a good impression. So, and I want it to be in the right spot, and I might have to do this a couple times. So here we go. Step 1. Sometimes you get good coverage that first time and you're good to go, and sometimes you don't. So, all right. Sticking. There we go. See, I didn't get good coverage down here, and I really do want good coverage for this because I do have a plan. So let's just do it again. Okay, and I'm just going to ink up the whole thing one more time, or however many I need to. Sometimes new stamps too also will have a little bit of hard time hanging on to ink or paint or whatever that first time. So so there are a number of factors that can cause it to not stamp quite right the first time. Okay, so now that's ready. I am going to leave this in place because I think I'm going to stamp over it after I do what I'm doing, but I am going to remove the whole lid for now, just so it's not you know, in the way of working. Okay, before I work on these flowers, I do want to do something up here, and it's going to require some dry time. Okay, now is the time to get the modeling paste out. I said we were going to use modeling paste today, and we definitely are, and I'm so excited about this. Look at this. Oh, if you've never used it before, I'm super excited for you to learn about this today because I really think it could change your world. And I'm not trying to be dramatic here. I'm just being really serious. Okay, I'm going to switch to the longer palette knife, okay, on the other end of my brayer, on the tool here. And okay, one thing I need to prep before we start, and that is, let's see, where is it? Okay, I have this, it's just a little spritzer bottle, okay? It's just, I don't even know how many ounces, maybe 1 or 2 ounces it stores in here. It doesn't say. And I obviously used it for pink before, but it's gonna work fine for what we want now. I have filled it about like a third of the way with water. I don't wanna go all the way because I don't necessarily need a full container of this, but you could. And I'm gonna be using black and blue. This is a primary cyan, and these are both acrylic inks, okay? So I'm just gonna get them both ready here. And I'm gonna put some of the primary cyan, like I put a full pipette, okay? And so now I've got this lovely blue color, and then I'm gonna do a full black. Let's see what that looks like. So to see, I'm gonna put my lid on, and I'm just gonna give it a quick shake. And I want a really dark bluish black. So the black is a really strong color, so I'm gonna add one more pipette of the blue. Just one full, the primary cyan, excuse me. Okay, and give it a shake again. It's looking nice and dark. Of course, we won't know for sure until we use it. So I think on this other page where I'm working, I'm just gonna give it a quick little bit of pink still. Oh yeah, oh yeah. See, oh, that's so perfect. It's like an inky bluish black, and that's exactly what I wanted. So now I want to take the birds. All right, and so I'm gonna decide where the birds are gonna go. Let's see, I just want a few of them. Oh, do I? Let's see. Okay, I think I just want them, I want like these ones here. Okay, maybe that one too. We'll see. And what I'm going to do is get some modeling paste. So you can see this is like, it's like a frosting. Okay, look at, it's pretty thick. Like you can see that peak is staying up there, but if I move it around, it will move. It will eventually fall down. So it's fairly thick. It's white and it's opaque. When it dries, it will be opaque. So that means you cannot see through it, right? So we're going to get some of this modeling paste. And if you've not used this before, please don't be scared. I want you to try it. I want you to get some and try it because it's amazing. You don't need a lot. And I like to put it on the back of my, my palette knife so I can spread it kind of like butter or like you're frosting a cake. Okay, it's super easy to do, and I'm just going to even get a little bit less because you can always get more, but and it's just a little easier to work with less. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is just start spreading it. So you could also use, if it feels better and like better control, you could also use the smaller palette knife. And now that I'm working on this, I think the smaller one would have been a little better because I'm in a very specific small area. But, you know, it's just personal preference and whatever the project calls for. I don't want to move that yet, okay? And now, before I take this off of here, I am going to get some scrap paper because we've got some open areas that I don't want to be affected. I only want to spray where the modeling paste is over these birds, okay? So here's what I'm going to do. Spray over the birds. And I have lovely painted fingers now. Okay, so now I'm going to remove these things. We don't need those anymore. And I think really quick, because I have a little pooling because of the way that this... All right, let's just see what we've got here. Oh, that's very interesting. Okay, this one kind of went under a little bit because of the way stuff came out, but can you see how, for the most part, the spray is only where the modeling paste is on the birds? It's very so I do want to color in some of these flowers down here just to bring them out more. So I'm going to take some of my light pink. I think I do want to use that. I'm going to work on my palette over here. And then I think some orange and maybe some of the bright pink. I don't know. We'll see where we go. Oh, I've got this yellow too. This yellow is gorgeous. And I might do a little color blending. We'll see. But I do like to just put stuff on my palette here. And then let's get one of my brushes out. I've got some great brushes from the Royal Talens Art Creation line. If I could just show you really quick. I've got filament 5/8 inch, 8 and 6. So this is a flat, and these are 2 rounds, 6 and 8 round and 5/8 inch flat. Okay, so I'm gonna probably use, I like it to be a little bit messy. I'm not trying to be particular or perfect, so I'm gonna use the 8 round, and I'm just gonna start with the lightest pink and start coloring in some of these petals. And again, I'm being real loose and I don't care. You do not need to be a professional painter or anything to do this, okay? Or with green. So I've got this darker green up here, and I do want some of the lighter green to go with it, so I don't have such a dark color, because I've got the dark there, you know, and I don't want those to compete really. So I'm just gonna mix the colors so I have a slightly lighter green. Mixing colors is really great. And if you're like, ooh, nope, I can't do that, I'm too scared, or I don't know how, or what'll happen, like, just try it. You know, it's just paint. It's literally just paint. You're not gonna break anything, and you just need to try, okay? I'm challenging you, excuse me, to try. Okay, let's see. It's really hard to see. I'm just gonna add leaves here and there, and hopefully it works out when I restamp it. And you see what I'm doing, okay? Like, this is not, you don't have to like be a professional. I just am going swoosh, swoosh. That's it. And it's a leaf. Nothing, you know, there's nothing precious here, and it doesn't matter. Okay. I just want you to feel comfortable with, like, you know, putting some paint down on the page, letting it just be whatever it is, and letting it be loose and fun. Okay. We're almost done with this. I don't know if there's leaves in all these places I'm making leaves, but we're just going to pretend like there are, and it'll just be fine. It'll work out the way it's supposed to work out. Okay, so now I've done all the leaves. So now I'm just going to take, not cleaning my brush, don't care, but I'm just going to go into that lighter green, okay, and pull a little bit up, and then I'm just going to like give it a swipe, just like on half of the leaf. Okay, this is giving us a little bit of tonality and a little bit of light coming in, and you just want some contrast. And I'm not overthinking it. I'm not trying to be particular. See how it just like brings it forward a little bit more? Okay, so there we are. You could even leave this the way it is. People will know that these are flowers, you know, like, it's just so pretty the way that it is. Okay, so I think I want some splatter, but I kind of want controlled splatter because this is a real tight layout. And in the Create set, there's this cool splatter stamp that Kat made. So I think I'm going to use it because I was just going to do splatter, but splatter really likes to just like be free, you know? And so, yeah, I think I want to be a little bit more controlled with it. So I'm going to use some of the white acrylic ink because it's already nice and loose for us. And I'm just going to put some onto my palette here. Uh-oh. I see what happened. Okay, that's all right. They wanted to be there. You can't deny them. Okay, so now I am going to use my paintbrush, and I'm just going to kind of go over, and it's splatter, right? So it's not meant to be even remotely perfect. And I'm using my finger because I really don't want, yeah, see? That's kind of perfect. Do I want some right there? I think I do. And look, I haven't even re-inked. I'm just going. Okay, I like that. And I'm done. So I'm just gonna quick wipe this off. All right, I'm gonna now use my brush, and I probably should switch. I think I will. I could do it with the medium round, but you know, might as well show you the right way. Or I don't know, I guess there is no right way or wrong way necessarily. This might give me a little bit more control. This is the smaller 6 round, and I'm picking up this ink. Now you could use a paint marker for this, like you know, acrylic paint marker, but I just want to try this. We've got it out here, and this is another way you can do it if you don't have paint markers. I want to outline these leaves, okay? So I'm just using my round. With some acrylic ink. It also gives you like slightly less controlled painterly marks, and it's kind of fun. You know, I use paint markers all the time because they're so convenient and easy, but sometimes you need to stretch yourself a little bit and try something different. And see how this is giving me painterly strokes because I'm using a paintbrush. So just give it a try. If you always use one type of tool to do something, try it with a different tool. Just shake it up. Give yourself a challenge. This is really fun. I was like, ooh, I'm just going to grab a paint pen real quick. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm going to do it with a paintbrush. How cool is this? And I don't care that it's exactly perfect. I just sort of want to outline these and bring them forward a little bit more. And I'm loving the way that this is looking because you get some, you know, you also get the variation in the thickness of the line. If I press down more, I'm getting a thicker line. If I keep it nice and light at the top, I'm getting a nice thin wispy line. And that is really fun too. I'm loving this. Permanent red violet here, okay? And I think I want to try something. I'm going to ink this up. I'm going to loosen it up a little bit with the water. I think I need a little bit more here. Oops. Okay. We are going to stamp over. I don't know that I want black. Black feels a little bit harsh for me for this last step, and so we're just going to try it, and if we don't like it, we can choose something different. But I'm going to hook this up to my hinge, and let's just see what we get here. Okay. Okay, so I really like the way this turned out because you can see it's not so stark. It's a nice dark color. It gives the flower areas some more dimension, and some of the leaf areas just gives it like some texture. And it still lets the flowers kind of be loose and imperfect. So I like the way that turned out. The one last thing I think I want to do, I'm going to first make sure this is dry, but I think I want to outline these birds in white as well, like I did with the leaves here. So let me make sure this is dry and outline them. Actually, before I do that, I forgot I wanted to try some of this pearl red acrylic. So let me just get a little bit here on my palette, and I just want to see if I can get any effect. It's supposed to be like pearlescent on dark surfaces. Yeah, it's kind of nice. I mean, these flowers aren't super dark, really, but I just wanted to see if it would add like a little something extra. I'm just putting it on the flowers. I think I'll do another video of just like a black page and use this these other paints here. They're so pretty. What are they called again? Pearl. Oh, they're pearl. Yeah. So they all look white in the tubes, but there's a little dot on them and they have a color and you can read the color, and I'll show you that in 1 second. Where's my flower? Up here. Yeah, it's just so pretty. It adds just a little shimmer or sparkle or something. I don't know. It's just really pretty. And you can still see the color underneath. So that's lovely. So yeah, I'll do another video with just highlighting these and maybe even the metallics, but these are called pearl paints, and you can see this dot here. This is pearl red, but it kind of has a pinkish look to it, but they all look kind of white or like ivory creamy kind of color in the tube. But then you can see when you put them on a dark surface, they'll have that color. So really fun, I think, and something a little bit different. And I'll use them on a dark page another time, but I kind of wanted to see how it would look on something like this. And once I take this off here, I'll kind of turn it, but I'm even seeing already from a side angle, it gives it a little bit of a shimmer and shine. So that's super pretty. Okay, start outlining these birds and see how that goes. They just, I added a little bit more spray and they're just lost a little bit of definition. So I'm just gonna try to bring it back and outline a little bit. Okay, it's a little bit messy, but I think it's super cute. I love the way the birds turn out. They're the cutest birds I've ever seen. I love them so very much. Okay. All right. I think I'm going to find a quote for this page and be done. Okay. I've chosen a quote. It says, "Your life unfolds in proportion to your courage." And I love that. So I've just got some matte medium here, and I'm just going to put a couple little drops down. And I'm just going to put it all over here because this is where it's going to go. And and clean up the excess when I'm done here. It's just a nice, easy way. And I like to put a little bit over the top to make sure that they're stuck down really well. They're not going to go anywhere. Oops. Just like adding this little bit of inspiration or encouragement. I usually try to make them, you know, coincide with like maybe something I'm working through or the way I feel that day. Sometimes I write my own, but I do also just love cutting ones that other people have created. This one is from the Dina Wakley Ledger set. That is nice and dry. I am going to take my small round brush again and just outline this. This is helping to bring that painterly stroke to one more thing. The more you can repeat styles and patterns and colors and things like that in your layout, the more cohesive it's going to look. All right. So yes, you could use an acrylic paint pen for this. And if you've been doing that for the whole thing, go ahead and do that. But again, I just like to challenge you to maybe try something a little bit different. Okay, I have made a proper mess here today, as you can see. My goodness, if you could see my whole table, it's just full. But that just means I had a lot of fun, and I definitely did. We used several different stamps and stencils from the Sizzix Studio line. And we also used this journal is from Royal Talens. This is one of their sketchbooks, the vertical one. We used the registration tool. We used a bunch of different paints and acrylic inks and so many great supplies. I hope that you found some inspiration here today, and I really hope that you got your journal out and you were creating right alongside with me. And if you didn't, go get your stuff out right now and make a page. Make anything you want. Get your fingers and hands dirty and just have fun and release and let go. And don't be so concerned about how the page turns out, okay? Just have some fun, play around, use some new supplies, use things you already have in your stash, and have a great time in your journal. I want to thank you so much for being with me today. Please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can see future art journaling videos, and have a wonderful day. Bye.